We live with another episode for the love of the game. It's your host, Larry Webb, with my two co-hosts, RJ and Zay. What it do?
What it do, man? Go balls.
What up, man? What up with y'all, man?
What going on, man? We took a break. It took a break or whatever, and we got a special edition episode tonight. We got a dear friend of mine, friend of the family, sister from LoveTank, relationship guru, relationship expertise, Coach Jasmine.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. These ladies ain't ready for me tonight.
They ain't ready for you tonight.
They ain't
These
ready for
guys,
me
Oh
tonight.
this
Lord.
about to be a great episode, man. I can
Oh
tell
Lord,
you.
she's gonna go in.
I mean, it's something that it's all season. So we man, football season over with. We're gonna talk about Super Bowl and all that and everything else, but we mostly here to talk about Valentine's Day, relationships, and what can marriage and all types of stuff like that, and in your and talk about how did you get to your point where you at now, and what made you inspire you to want to be get in this field, because it's a needed field. It's a big lane and goes so many different avenues, and in every industry kind of need this right now too.
Yeah.
So
Well, first and foremost, thank y'all for having me.
yeah,
I don't know nothing about sports, so I definitely can't stand.
man, you could come
Larry be
kick
trying to get on me. I'm like, I don't know nothing. I was
Yeah.
at the Super Bowl party, but I was like off to the side.
Yeah,
I can't even tell you what happened. I did see the halftime show though.
yeah. Halftime
Yeah,
show
hey,
was
that was lit.
That
Yeah, we
was
talked about the
lit.
halftime. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was lit.
But thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on here. Yes, my name is Jasmine Cruz. I am a relationship coach. When most people think about coaching, they think about marriage. I teach and eat, breathe, sleep, everything relationships as it pertains to all relationships. But with the twist, because I definitely hold women accountable, which most coaches, are just streamlined and for women only. And I don't play that. I've been with a woman my entire life. So I know women. I know what we do and do and don't do. And so that's how I teach people how to make their relationship their biggest flex.
Yeah, that's one thing. In your field, I love about you. Even when you had gave me and my wife advice on stuff like that, and you held her to the same, stretch accountability as me, and you do not take sides. You very straight to the point, and you roll with it, and you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So that's a big plus.
Oh yeah. I'm starting to like her already, man. There's a couple women, man, that I'll just be like, bro, like, do you not see what you doing? Like,
They
and,
know.
and it's hard for us, my thing is it's hard for us to come out and say it because we just don't be feeling like dealing with this shit sometimes. Like, so I'm glad we need people like you.
So let me ask you this, Jasmine and RJ. Like, one topic is like, I think men, it's kind of hard for us to even talk about our relationship and our feelings about relationship. Um, I think women, they just let it out, and it's so easy for them to be so vulnerable and stuff like that, because when you go to like therapy and stuff like that, or talk to people like you, it's always kind of like a bias in a sense. It's always, I wouldn't even say bias, always kind of like a woman gonna tend to understand a woman and not understand a man. And I think you understand man at a high level that
Mm-hmm.
most women don't. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's real. It kind of it be real hard for us sometimes just to open up or whatever. What you think about that, Jack or RJ too? And you can go.
Yeah, I agree with that for to an extent, just because like I know like when I've been in a relationship and I tried, all I've heard was her feelings, her thoughts, her wants, her needs, and and when it's my turns to to say that, and it's like they don't want to come with the same energy, you feel me? So it's like I don't, I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad we have somebody like Coach Jasmine they could come out and say that, because I wouldn't have mind. I definitely would have needed you in some of the past relationships that I had, so I could maybe if another female can explain it to female, it can make life a lot easier, you know what I'm saying? Because as a male, it's just hard to explain it to. It's just hard to.
Mhm.
It's hard to do that, you know. It just you like sometimes you know your spouse may not listen, or your spouse may not get what you're trying to come at, or she just she's just listening to react, and it's like you can't get your point across, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it has to do with it's like a gender construct. It's a social construct. It is really one over the other. And a lot of our issues in relationships today have to do and stem from our childhood. I mean, all the way back in the day when your parents were raising you and bringing you up. I mean, I read something today. I'm reading a book called The Five Love Languages for Children because I have a speaking engagement. I have godchildren. I'm trying to make sure that what I teach people, I also spew into the babies because I love kids. And what I'm learning is that even gender wise, back when when they were younger, it was the young girl, the little girl was getting the physical touch. The little girl was getting the words of affirmation. The little girl was getting all of these things. And then parents would say, oh, the boy's okay. Oh, he's fine. He doesn't need to be consoled, or he doesn't need to be hugged after he falls or has an accident. So this has been going on. I think it's I don't think they're aware. I don't think people are aware of it, but it's been going on forever, and it stems from childhood. It stems from your upbringing. And you know I'm always going to hold a woman accountable, period. Now most women don't like that, but at the end of the day, it's not about gender for me. It's about the level of understanding. So my question to you all is, do you feel like your voice is heard?
You want to go on
no,
first, RJ?
now you go first, Larry. I'm not
Okay,
dating nobody,
I
so you
think
feel me? So
now that you got certain most women are biased. Like I said, what go Zay? You want to go?
he finna be like,
Yeah,
hell
y'all can hear
no.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, first off, how you doing? Oh, man, I'm breaking it. I'm breaking up. Yeah.
No, you good. You
No,
good.
you
You
good.
good.
Okay. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, man. Sometimes I don't feel like I've been heard. Sometimes, and sometimes like when I do talk, it's like I'm talking to the wall. You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like I had to keep. Hold on, yeah. Hold on.
No, Larry.
King
Oh,
J on the move.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Uh, Zay be having a lot going on. Hold on.
You
Hey,
definitely got to mute
Zay.
up.
real quick. Go work.
You gotta mute your mic, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
So, RJ, this is not just about intimate relationships. I'm
Hmm.
asking, or do you feel like you feel heard in society? Do you feel heard at home? Do you feel heard amongst your friends? It doesn't always have to go back to relationships. Yes, Larry and I are married, of course, but our relationship context is beyond our marriage.
Hmm.
And so that's why I kind of like to bring it around to, it's just not the intimate
Okay.
relationships. This conversation is everything about all aspects of relationships and what men deal with today, and how they are not heard, and how most of you guys are like, it's hard for you guys even to say, yeah, you know what? My mama does not listen to me, or, my sister doesn't listen to me, or,
Hmm. Yeah, to an extent, like sometimes, like I may want say I want to do this, or I'm not I'll say this, I'm not the person that make all the decisions in like my circle. If that makes sense,
Mhm.
I'm not the person that just put his foot down and everybody do what I do type. You know what I'm saying? Circle. I mean, I'll come up with a suggestion or something like that, or I'll be like, hey, let's go do this, or hey, I want this, I want that, and sometimes I may get it. It may not be every single time though. Like I mean, people respect me, but I just think to an extent, like when it comes to I was reading the comment, but yeah, when it comes to like just I say voice, I'll just say it sometimes. Mm.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I think going back, sometimes, going back to my parent, my mom, which is she's a strong, beautiful black woman that raised three boys by herself, and she did the best that she can, and a lot of the situations of a lot of the things that when we voice our opinions on certain things, certain topics, she let us to be heard or whatever. And then she also coached us and told us certain things, what I'm saying, is better left unsaid, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
or to not talk about. And we kind of with that, and then culturally our environment, we also was taught that, I would say, you know, you don't be whining or complaining all the time if you go about expressing yourself or stuff like that, because you be like, you to us the culture, like, man, you sound like you crying or whatever the case may be, or you if you just being a totally expressive type person, and express everything about all areas of your life, everything that rubs you the wrong way, or even if you just basically in tune with yourself and in tune with your feelings. And the culture and growing up, especially being a former football player, a lot of that stuff don't translate didn't translate back then. That's the mentality. But now, in all aspects of, especially like football, guys, it's healthy to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now we have grown as a society, as a culture, and these new generation of kids have, they be so expressive. You know what I'm saying? And so me, like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, dang, y'all so goddamn soft. But I had to pause and think about it sometimes. Like, nah, man, it's good for their mental. It's good for, what I'm saying, spiritually, in all aspects of their life, and gonna prepare them to express themselves like that. And so that's what I think. What's up, my boy?
What's up? What's up? What
What's
up?
going
Can y'all
on,
hear me?
man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
can hear
we
you.
we live, man.
Okay,
We can
cool.
hear you good. You want to ask Jasmine? Can you ask my homeboy Scott? Scott, man, one of my childhood best friends. We grew up together.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Nah, he's
Jasmine, don't get on. Jasmine, don't get on here with that
I'm
now.
from Cali. You know I give Larry a hard time, honey. I give Larry a hard time.
yeah, she's definitely from the Bay.
I stay on that head, boy.
Yeah, but no, Jasmine, ask Scott the
So
question.
what I was asking the boys were, do you feel like your voice is heard? So I'm a relationship coach, but
Hmm.
it's not all in the intimate aspect of relationships. And so a lot of the women that I coach, they're always coming to me saying, complaining about their spouse. And what I've always had to emphasize to them is that just because he speaks up, first of all, you should be grateful that he's speaking up, number one. And number two, just because he uses his voice doesn't mean it's a complaint. So what women do, they often, what I think
Yep.
King, what was his name? King
Are
Zay?
you talking about Zay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zay was on here and he was about to go into it. So I was like kind of getting amped up, but that he feels like he's talking to a brick wall. And that is something that I have seen consistently among my coaching sessions where, men are utilizing their voice and they're not being heard,
Mm-hmm.
period. So my question to you is, do you feel like your voice is heard?
Uh, with me and my wife, yes, I do. But for the longest, for myself, I didn't use my voice, and for me, I felt like my feelings didn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
and I was too afraid to speak on my feelings because it's like who's gonna listen, right?
Yeah.
But then I often used to fight with myself. It's like, bro, like your feelings matter too. Too many times I think we as men, number one, we don't express our feelings because 9 times out of 10 is going to be used against us.
Yes.
Fact.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
because it's like if it's not done their way, women, then it's not right. But who's to say what is right and what is wrong,
Exactly.
right? So for myself, I begin to voice my opinion more because I'm beginning to realize that everything is pretty much an opinion based,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very vital for your voice to be heard. And if they're not trying to listen to you, then that's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So for myself, I truly feel like my voice is being heard. If not, then I move on because it's not right that I have to listen to you, but you can't listen to me. It's not right. So that's my opinion. Yeah,
I
I
love that.
appreciate that question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
Jasmine,
ahead,
are
Jasmine.
you
You
are
can
you in
kind
a
of quarterback
relationship,
this.
Jasmine?
Yeah, I've been married 16 years. I am married
Okay.
to a woman. We've been together since we were yay high, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I I mean, I came from the church originally when I was younger, then I was kicked out when I was 17 for being gay.
Mm.
And I ended up living in a trap house and I had to survive. So
Yeah.
I've had a little rough patch in my life, but it shaped me to be who I am. And because of my relational issues, racism in the family, my wife is a different culture. So racism in the family, being gay, um, and some other things, finances, infidelity, because I've experienced so many different levels and elements in my marriage is why I started to study the science of relationships. And that's how I kind of gauged and plateaued
Mm.
myself, not plateaued, but elevated myself to be able to really coach others.
Mm.
Well, you do us all a favor and tell your wife that right now we having trouble with your internet connection. I don't know if she's trying to get you up off this live with us or what, but nah, I'm just kidding. But no, okay, okay, okay. So
That's
you've been
you'd have
through a
been through
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, by looking at me, you can't tell,
for
but
sure. Yeah, no, for sure. I get it, 100%,
Yeah, that's one thing I
100%.
always notice about
Um,
people. Like you can't just look people and you can't just look at people think they ain't been through nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what that person has been through, you know what I'm saying? Or you don't know what that person was 5 years ago or 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So look like you came a long way, Coach Jasmine.
period.
Mhm.
RJ, what up, bro?
What up,
Golly,
man?
man.
I know, long time no
Yeah,
see, man.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, man.
But go ahead,
Yeah.
Jasmine. You can quarterback
So
this
did y'all
thing.
all play football together? I mean, what's the story?
Oh, no.
Yeah, we won championships together. Me and my boy right there.
You and him.
Yeah.
Oh
You
Lord, here
and
they
him.
go, man.
What's
Please,
up,
why
Sam?
why
What's
you
going
had to
on,
bring this
bro?
up,
What's
man? I ain't gotta hear this
What's up,
shit.
bro? What's up, Zay?
up?
What's going
Nah,
on?
they
Nah,
you go ahead, Scott.
I met Zay and RJ through Larry. Me and
Okay.
Larry grew up together, and we played football together. Um, he
We
played
played
defense and I played
we ain't
offense.
play basketball. We played
Bro,
baseball
you
together.
can't hoop, bro. You
Okay.
cannot hoop.
Hey.
You
Yeah.
can't hoop, bro. Nah, but
Yeah.
yeah, me and Larry been rocking for a long time, and he introduced myself to Zay and RJ, and we get on here in the fall time and talk about football. They some pretty solid dudes. So yeah, that's how I know these guys. That's how I know these guys. Yeah,
A whole lot of smack talk. A lot of trash talk. But yeah,
yeah, it's
cool.
all
Yeah.
love, man.
So what about
No,
Definitely.
that halftime show? What do y'all think about Usher and Alicia Keys? She was fine. Let me tell you, she is coming
No,
out
Here you
thick,
go.
she
baby.
always
She
she
was
always
next.
fine.
she fine,
See,
fine.
She definitely always fine.
Okay.
She
yeah.
fine.
She was
No,
Um,
fine.
it,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I go after you.
No, I was
You
just
got-
gonna say I
Uh
enjoyed I enjoyed the performance. Usher is good. Usher is really good. Um, and the fact that he brought so many people for the culture, man, that was beautiful. That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
He brought
Um,
Atlanta
and,
to Vegas, bro.
Here he
yeah,
go.
yeah,
oh my hold on, bro.
and
I'm gonna have
and
to address something. Let me address something real quick.
oh
He's
yeah, go
not
ahead,
from
bro.
Atlanta, bro. You know he from Tennessee, right? He
Yeah,
ain't from Atlanta,
man, come
bro.
on,
Oh my.
bro. We claim it
He
though.
did not bring
He
the.
don't claim
I mean, he
Tennessee,
did bring
bro.
the world to Atlanta though, because I think he was really their first like huge artist, like the world artist, wild artist. I see. maybe Outkast was before him, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think he brought the younger generation to Atlanta at that time. I say that, so but also like one thing I noticed was, a lot of people wasn't holding Alicia Keys accountable, in my opinion, because he wrapped up on the. And I think Alicia Keys was supposed to push off of him. So she's supposed to do something to
Wow.
go away from her
Hold on,
because they
Wow.
hold on.
married.
Hold on.
They
Let
No,
me
go
he,
ahead,
see.
he,
Jay.
I mean, she married the Swiss
I
Beats.
ain't.
Why you feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah. That right there, bro. If Swift Beats wasn't mad, the media made him mad because it's so many memes and so many stuff people talking about it. Man, if he wasn't mad, man, I know he mad now. So I mean, they started this. See, the people, the fans, social media, they start stuff, bro. They be starting
Bro,
a lot of stuff. It might,
if he ain't
Yeah, they
if
blew
he
that
ain't
shit up.
insecure, bro, he ain't got no reason to be mad.
Mm-mm.
If
yeah.
he ain't insecure in himself, I mean, you also got to understand, bro. They are both entertainers. So
hmm
and not to mention, like, I'm pretty sure that they practice that shit. Like they just didn't do it like just because, bro. Like, come on.
hmm
Uh,
But and then at the same time, like, what about the married people that do sex scenes in movies?
I was just about
That's
to say that
exactly
You
what
know
too.
what
I
I'm
said
saying?
Yeah, I
earlier.
was like,
So
just
come
about to
yeah,
say
on,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if he ain't insecure in himself, bro, then he shouldn't be upset. And but
That's
that's just my
exactly
opinion.
what I thought. That's how I took it because, everybody was texting me, asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I said, you know what? Honestly, I looked at it as entertainment, but I will say, what are they trying to do? My model is they don't want us to win. They don't want
Hmm.
black culture, black love, black anything to win. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to tear us down. That is the talk of the town right now. That is like, let's talk about Usher. The performance was fire, but
Yeah.
commend him for the camaraderie that he brought to the
Right.
stage. And that's
Right.
It
more
was.
of what we need is camaraderie. And if you look at entertainment, that's all that was entertainment. And if a man and woman are very much, as my wife and I, very much confident, you could be amongst anything and anybody at any point and be respectable. Some people think it was, slightly disrespectful. I personally don't think it was disrespectful. I feel like it was entertainment, and it took me about 16 hours to get here. I mean, I had to work my way here,
I agree.
just to try to understand. But you
So
know,
my thing is that what if you're Swiss Beats, how would you react to that situation? Like, are you allowed to be upset about that? Are you allowed to quit? Like, you know what I'm saying, to check your wife, be like, yo, why would you do that? Embarrass me in front of everybody. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he have the right to do that? In my opinion,
do you
But
feel like he was embarrassed though, or do you feel like he got paid?
if he got paid, I mean, if he knew that they were gonna do that beforehand, then he can't be mad. But if he didn't know that, and like he at the Super Bowl party with all his family, and he see that, you know what I'm saying, I'd have been kind of embarrassed. You know what
so
I'm saying?
let me ask you this, RJ. Do he own her?
No,
Right. So if he don't own her, then what gives him to the right to tell her what to do? Just because the government say so, pretty much, because that's what a marriage is. Because loyalty would be her not sleeping with the guy, in my opinion, right? But if we're entertaining and giving the fans a show, 15 seconds, maybe you're gonna put your marriage on the line and say that she's unfaithful for 15 seconds. That's
my
just
thing
my
is
I
opinion.
mean, he
if you
did
don't,
grab her though. He grabbed her. I mean,
But
I
isn't
look
that
at
kind
it
of like how he does his performances? I
All
haven't
the
seen the Usher
time.
concert, so I
All
yeah.
the
don't really
time.
know. But I've seen like reels and TikToks of Usher
Yeah.
coming around the girls and doing his thing as a part of his show. So I was assuming it
they
was a
say,
part of the show.
they say he don't care about nobody marriage.
Man, you
They
didn't
making
listen
all
to him
type
in
of
his
memes,
song,
man.
bro. You didn't.
I
He said,
mean,
"Don't bring a girl around me."
He
True
true
player
player
for
for
real.
real.
well, I
He just
mean,
got
shit.
married though.
But
He had
see,
just got married. He had just
but
got married.
here's the thing though, bro. What's wrong with the truth? If that's his truth, right? If he say, "Don't bring your girl around me," I mean, I'm a player. What's wrong with that?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with Usher, cause I mean he just being a dude. That's what a dude does. He see a You single, you see a fine girl, that's what you gonna do. You feel
So
me?
no backward hugs. That's out. That's unloyal. No backward hugs.
Nah, I mean, it ain't look.
What?
It just not a good look, in my opinion. It ain't a good look,
For
and
sure,
that's
for
how
sure.
that's how I come at it about
So
it. And I just feel like
if it was your
it,
wife, how would the conversation go? If it was your wife,
I'd ask her what the hell was that. I mean, that's how I ask you what the hell was that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If
so
I didn't know they were going to do that,
right, and her
Oh,
response is just entertainment.
RJ,
okay,
somebody told me to ask you, is it okay for men to go to the strip club and get lap dances?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
that's a good,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
that's a
I'm
good
gonna be at the strip club getting a lap dance.
one.
That's a good question.
Oh,
That's a
That's a
really
good
good
question.
question.
I ain't gonna lie, that's
RJ's
a
girl
good
is
question.
not coming to the strip club. She cannot be at the strip club.
Nah, I just say,
She
my
can't
thing
get
is,
no lap dance.
I look at it like this though. If you gonna be quiet about that and you gonna hold that in until you touch the grave, man, I just feel like it's gonna come out at some point in time, man. You gonna bring that shit up in an argument or something. You're gonna be, well, that's why you was you know what I'm saying, dick the butt with Usher. You feel me? Something like that. That's exactly what somebody gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
So can a married man go to the strip club, RJ? Get a lap dance. What's the difference?
It's the same thing. It is the same thing, though. It's the same thing. But there's some girls that, I mean, when I was in a relationship, I brought it up to her. I was like, "What if we go to the strip club? What you gonna do?" You know what I'm saying? She would get
Right.
mad. She was like, "Nah, you ain't going to no strip club." Blah blah. I'm like, "Dang, like I
Yeah,
can't go
that's
to
a
the strip."
thing, boy. The
And
girl,
you know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
let me ask you this question, RJ. In that moment, how did that shit make you feel?
it felt like she had that whip on me at that time. Like
Like
I can't do nothing.
you ain't have a voice, like right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just going back to what Coach Jasmine asked about just your feelings and your emotions, bro. Like in that moment, like your feelings matter. You see what I'm
Mhm,
saying? And if that's
Mhm.
something that you wanted to do, not saying that you had to do it, but that's something that you wanted to do, and she got upset about that. Like that's the issue. That's the issue that we have as a culture is like men men feel like they can't just truly be themselves and who they are because of women's feelings, and women try to use their feelings against the man because
Mhm.
let's be honest, she probably say some shit like, well, if you love me you wouldn't go. What? It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? You're testing. You're basically saying that if I wanted to go have a good time with the boys, that mean I don't love you. That makes no sense.
mhm,
So yeah, that's just going back to just realizing that we as men have a voice, and our voice matters. I think too many times we as men, include myself, um, will have ideas and visions, but we can't we choose not to say anything or act on them because we're protecting the feelings of people that we're in a relationship with,
Mhm.
right? But you don't that person don't own me, and I don't own that person, so I shouldn't have to hide who I am because of somebody else's feelings. But that's just my opinion.
I agree. I don't think anybody's wrong in this situation. I think that what RJ is expressing is very much valid. And it goes back to the number one issue. 65% of us, when we have issues, people think that relational issues are infidelity, and actually it's communication. So
Communication,
it's
absolutely right.
communication. And so when it comes to what RJ is saying is, how would you say things? What does it sound like for you to set boundaries? Which are fine. It's just in the way of how you want your significant other and you to come to an agreement. So maybe the strip club isn't for you and her. Maybe the act that Alicia Keys did is not something that you would like to see. So there's nothing wrong with you stating your voice in that manner. It's just making sure that you have a solid boundary that you want to communicate and what that sounds like. And you guys actually fluidly have a conversation to get to an agreement. It's not about right and wrong or necessarily always, sometimes what Scott is saying about owning, I get that because a lot of people have a tendency to want to just say what you can and cannot do. The problem is it's not about what you want, it's about how you communicate that. And sometimes just because you communicate it, it may not be the best thing for the relationship, but ultimately, if that's how you see fit in your relationship, then you just have to make sure that you communicate that so that you guys can have a solid agreement so that it can be, fluid for you guys.
So let me ask you this question. Oh, my bad, RJ. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it comes down to how that relationship between Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys is, because if he's going to the strip club, he can't be mad at what she did with Usher. He can't be mad at that because he's done stuff. He doing stuff in the past that she's just did on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it just like if he's been he ain't messing with no other girls, or he ain't doing any type of sexual acts with other women, then I feel like he has a right to be mad, because he's like, I'm not doing that, so why are you doing it? You get what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it,
So let me ask you this, Coach Jasmine. You mentioned that we come to an agreement and figure it out, right? So just going back to the strip club scenario, let's just say for the sake of conversation, RJ and this girl have this conversation, and basically she's not with it because she don't want him to look at other naked women. Okay, how can you come to an agreement with the fact that she's in her feelings and she's being emotional versus this guy just want to go hang out with the boys and have a good time?
I think, first of all, to take it back a little bit, most of the time when people have issues with things, it has to do with insecurity. And a lot of people do not want to admit insecurity. Now, the conversation, okay, the boundary and the foundation should have been set prior to even getting into the relationship. And that's our biggest miss, the foundation.
Hold on, stop right there. Do you feel like you were the same person you were a month ago?
Me?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you mentioned that that conversation should have been had at the start. What if at that moment RJ wasn't interested in strip clubs? So
which is a very good point. So
how can he have that conversation in the beginning if he wasn't even that person in the beginning? See what I'm saying?
So when I say conversation, I'm not meaning specifically about the strip club. I'm talking about foundation and boundary, meaning whatever your wants and needs are, who you are, what you think you are at that point in time, and always being able to be a forever student in your relationship. We don't ask each other questions after 5 years. We stop asking questions and things change. The hotness I was back in the day, because I lived in the strip club. So, my opinion's a lot different because I wasn't a stripper. I was a tipper. I was a tipper. Okay. But I was always at the strip club. So the strip club in my world was very something that was normal. But I come across a lot of women that are insecure with that type of entertainment. Now, I don't fault them. It's just communicate. So if a month before you wanted to bring a girl into your marriage, or you wanted to start being poly, or you wanted to shift the dynamic of your finances, whatever the conversation is, the foundation of your guys' wants and needs should have already been established, no matter how much you change, because you have to absolutely evolve. And evolving is important. It is something that naturally we should be, accustomed to and willing to observe, but we don't. Our culture, especially the Black culture, we do not. It's like if you evolve, it's like foreign to us.
It's a problem. It's a problem if you evolve. If you evolve as a person, it's an issue. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but no.
Oh, you're fine. Zay, are you going? Is your girl allowed to go to the strip club? He's still busy.
Yeah, he's still busy. But it is a good conversation, though. Like I said, I just think it just comes down to what type of relationship that you are in with your significant other, in my opinion. And I just feel like there's no right or wrong answer, because it comes up to you as y'all two. It comes down to y'all two, in my opinion. That's how I look at it. So.
And just to piggyback off of earlier what Jasmine said, like a lot of people don't have conversations, and conversations are important, considering the fact that we all evolve as a people. Like I'm not the same person I was a year ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my wants, needs, and desires have changed, and they're going to continue to change because I'm going to continue to change, right? And I think it's very vital that we as men just voice our opinion. Like there's nothing wrong with how you feel, bro. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think for the longest myself, I was afraid of that because I used to always think that society don't want you thinking that way, right? And because society don't want you thinking that way, many times we swallow our feelings and emotions because quote unquote it's not right. But like RJ just said, what is right and what is wrong? It's all about how you feel and your feelings.
Jasmine, me and Courtney were talking about and I think she mentioned it to you. I think me we were talking about this the other day. This like boundaries and likes and dislikes. What's your points on that? What you think about those that the boundaries and things in relationships and stuff?
So I teach a method called the LoveTank method. And one of the pillars in my method is vocalizing boundaries. Boundaries is something that I had to learn, and I had to in my own marriage and relationship with my mom, trying to rebuild that. I had to learn what boundaries meant, and I had to learn how to express them, because most of the time when we're trying to, like, for instance, when you evolve and you come across what a boundary is and how you may be able to utilize that for your life, it could be foreign to other people. So
Yeah,
the other receiving party is going to
yeah.
naturally get defensive,
Get defensive.
naturally, which, rightfully so, they're going to feel away because you aren't answering your phone, or, whatever the boundary is. But I will say this, the way that I feel about a boundary is exactly how RJ feels about relationships being solely with that person. So what my boundaries are in my marriage will not be the same as Scott, will not be the same as you, Larry, will not be the same as RJ or Zay, but it is whatever works for the relationship that you're in, right? In any relationship. And it's for the betterment of your health. You have to set boundaries so that you can maintain healthy relationships. And the
And
reason you set boundaries because you have not all the way overcome your childhood trauma. So you're
mm,
doing a boundary in lieu of them, but really it may be you that needs to
way back,
be
way back.
bounded, I guess, in the sense
Yeah,
of boundary. But I think it's something that's important. I think it's something that you have to learn. I think women need to soften
listen, man.
themselves in where and how they articulate what their boundaries are, because oftentimes they're a little bit abrupt and they're not fully educated on what that means for the relationship. Um, even mothers, I hate to bring it up, but even mothers. So I think boundaries are healthy, and I think that I go more in depth in my program, but it is something that's necessary in a health perspective, in my opinion.
And it keeps you at peace too. I don't think a lot of people are at peace with themselves. And with that, like, how can you how can you know what your boundary are if you're not at peace with yourself? Because you mentioned the childhood trauma, Jasmine, and a lot of people don't overcome that thing.
Because they're
And
not willing to do the work. They can.
exactly,
They just
they
need to do the
can
work.
definitely, yes, 100%. And a lot of people just don't. Is
It
it? Is
also
it?
It depends on the childhood trauma too. Like some of them are longer to get over than others. Like if you got sexually assaulted as a kid, in my opinion, that's gonna take a long time for you to get over, in my opinion. And say like what if you got like you probably got beat up by your mom or dad or something like that. As a kid, it's gonna take a long time for you to get over. You're never gonna forget about that. You're never gonna forget about something like that. It's always gonna haunt you.
Yeah,
So.
I understand that, RJ. I wholeheartedly do, bro. But at some point, we can't continue to make excuses. Like at some
Mhm,
point, we have to face it head on. And
Mm-hmm.
I
mhm,
can speak for myself. Like just not having my dad around for whatever reason. I don't know why he wasn't around when I was a kid, but we kind of mended that relationship. But what I did find out was his dad wasn't around as a kid and his dad wasn't around as a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my dad just haven't faced that trauma.
mhm,
And at what point do we say, all right, I got to man up or woman up and just deal with it because it's happened, right? And the only thing that we can do is ask questions for understanding, and trying to figure out at that time what they were thinking, right? And realize that, you know, like you said earlier, RJ, we never know what a person is going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, when that act happened or continued to happen, like they probably was screwed up mentally. Like we don't know, but in order for us to know, we gotta ask questions.
Yeah.
Gotta ask questions.
Yeah.
True.
And really come from a place of understanding, the things that RJ have just mentioned, I've been through. And I just choose to not live my life based
Hmm.
on the trauma that I've experienced. I
Hmm.
mean, when people see me, they just see this girl and this, well, first of all, I think I'm young. That's number one. And two, they're just like, oh, she ain't never
I
been through
sure
nothing.
I sure thought that the same thing, the exact same thing you
yeah,
just said when I got on this thing. I thought the same exact thing. 16,
yeah.
man, that woman ain't been married no 16 years.
I
That's what I was
know.
thinking. That's what I was thinking.
It's a gift and a curse, right? They look at me and they think, it's twofold. Like when I coach people, so the reason why I feel like I relate more to men, I have a street brand called LoveTank. And so I started coaching men based on them messing with my street brand. Like they loved the vibe. So they would purchase my street brand and then I was able to coach them. And then, I get the women, oh, she's not a coach. She can't be a coach. Look at her. And then when I'm coaching the women, the men are feeling the same way. Oh, she's a lesbian. Oh, she's trying to get in my life. No, first of all, I'm trying to help your relationship because I already got mine. But some of the things that I have experienced are traumatic, but you have a choice. You have a choice to, when I mean do the work, I don't mean that harshly. I mean that as graciously as I possibly can say, because you have to not live off your trauma. They want us to live traumatically. They want us as Black people to live in a world of sorrow, and they want us to always be reminded of all the things that we've gone through. But the way that you take control and take back your life is by understanding what that trauma is and how it affected you and how to overcome it in the sense of understanding all the elements of what you've experienced so that you can
Hmm.
be a better person for yourself. Not necessarily because you can't be anything if you're not healed. You can't be
Hmm.
anything in a marriage or a relationship or a dating ship or a family ship without being healed. You have to face what you've experienced, and it's
Hmm.
just like you going out playing football and you have a broken knee that you're trying to recover. And if you do not really face that injury and fully go through the physical therapy and the mental therapy to get that body part back into its working order, it's the same with our relationships. We just don't look at it that way.
Hmm.
So that's what I
100%.
mean by overcoming your childhood traumas and really doing the real work. Like at the end of the day, I need my people to understand that it's time, and it's time to get to business. The same energy that they had at that Super Bowl, is the same energy they need to have in their relationships, because we're at war. The reality is we are at war. They don't want us to win. They don't want us to be in relationships. They don't want Black men to be in the household. They don't want none of that. They want us to literally just continue to do what they've done statistically in our households for years and years and years. We think we're free. And right now we really are. We are at war relationally. And that's the one thing, statistically, if a Black man is in a household, that child is more likely to be successful as it is in the white household. Now, I'm both races, but I just bring that up because that is something that they have been doing to us statistically for so long that we think that, we're so far from it. No, we're not. They want to break us down. I mean,
Right.
It's deep, but I can
deep.
go on and on about that topic.
Yeah, no, it is deep. I totally agree.
I want to play this clip, Jasmine. I had got this.
I hope it ain't football, because
No, it's on the same topic. No.
Okay.
No,
she trying to dodge this football
don't
talk.
Play music and don't play any sports.
No. I got you. No, I got two clips. We're gonna talk about these two clips and stuff.
Okay.
Like that. Hold on.
Why you say don't play music?
Because I didn't grow up listening to secular music. My mother was extremely strict, so I don't know music. I learned music being with my spouse, so that's why.
Sure.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
Her spouse is lit.
So who did you listen to? Like, did you at least listen to
gospel music, baby? Gospel music.
Oh, okay.
Kirk
I mean, like,
Franklin. I could do a song.
But the crazy thing about it, when you get to know her, she's a street person that don't.
So you went to all them strip clubs, you ain't listen to Future.
I know, yeah. But if I hear the song in the street,
person, like she literally from the street and then listen to rap. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I was in the street to survive. Like, I was only there because I was put there. It wasn't really by choice, but I had to survive. And even in the trap house, he wasn't listening to no music. Oldies maybe, but not really,
Yeah, I always say this, man. I said I grew up around the streets, but I ain't no street nigga. That's one thing about me. I ain't no street nigga.
But let me play that clip, y'all.
I'm a straight up gangster, man.
Your dating experience to where you're now like, it's a lot of pressure on Black men, specifically dating Black women. And I love Black women. Social media and the culture has put a lot of pressure on us. This could be just based on environment. When I moved to Atlanta, women here are very entitled. And listen, I'm not blaming anybody, so I don't want this to turn into... When you say entitled, though, what does entitled mean? I'll say financially entitled. I feel extreme pressure. And I get hit on by white women. I get hit on by all kinds of women. But when I get hit on by Black women, I immediately feel this entitlement of, I got to pay for something. Wow. I got to pay your rent. I got to help you with your car note immediately within 2 weeks. Or I'm just saying what I've experienced. I'm not saying that's every woman. Nowadays, if I take somebody on a date, $400 immediately, and I don't even drink. So if she drink, that's a couple hundred. If the hookah's 45, laptops is 50, dessert. So by the time, valet. I was just going to say valet. So we didn't spend $400 for me to see if you like me. Say that again. So it's like I'm spending. That's just the first date. You want to go out again. I done spent $1,000 on 3 dates just to see if you might call me back or maybe text me back. And then because you're a beautiful woman, if you don't like me, you can go get the next man to do the same thing. What happened in your dating experience to where you're...
That's a tough one right there.
Right. It's hard out here for a pimp.
That's why you got to. Hey, that's why as a man you got to do the same shit. You got to play the game, man. Got to play the game. Nah, I was just playing. I was just kidding, bro. Don't listen to me. I can play the game. I can play the game well, but don't play the game, bro. Don't play the game.
So I had this conversation. I had an interview with E.T. Cali. Y'all know E.T. Cali?
I heard it.
The entertainer, like this, the radio personality. So he had me on air, and we had this exact conversation about Black women and how they have this entitlement. So when I said it, I was like, these women feel entitled. And as a lesbian, I wouldn't date you. So it's like there is this energy in the world that, you know, when I met my spouse, we had nothing. Okay. We had nothing. So like money was not even a moving factor. And money today is not a moving factor to me. You got to stimulate my mind. Okay. And then my body will follow. You have to make sure that, and the thing is, whoever is still dating, hold these women accountable. What does the woman offer? Like, it's not always necessarily what does the man offer. And financial gain is not, see, okay. Let me slow down because Jesus.
Yeah,
Because
because you
we have
getting a
had
little
nothing,
amp.
because this topic boils my blood because
Yeah.
it's so systemically sad where we are with our broke mentality. It goes back to the mentality of a Black woman and what we're being told and what we've been told for generations and generations and generations. So in the society that we're in now, it's like, oh, let me see what I can gain because I've never had nothing. We're not taught to get it for ourselves in the sense of building, you know, a solid career. You should come to the table as equal, not financially equal necessarily, but just with the same sound mind, meaning you're not looking for a come up. You're not getting with the man to come up. You should be getting with him because you genuinely love and care and want to grow with a person. Not if he doesn't buy you first of all, don't spend $400 on food in Atlanta for me. Like what? That's a car
I mean,
note.
but you also got to think too, Jasmine. Like, not every man get the opportunity to date, especially the women that he wants to date. So when he does get that opportunity, he feels like that is a requirement, like he stated in the clip. It's like he feel like he's required to do those things because of the, like you stated, the entitlement of the woman. However, if he's secure within himself, then he knows that his value is more than those $400, right?
It's
And
a
I
false
don't have,
reality.
yeah, right, and
It's
I don't
not
have
a
to,
reality. It's not,
yeah,
you know, it goes back to the social constructs.
yeah,
Like this social media is deadly. It'll
hmm
make you think that you need to spend $400 for a date and
right,
you're not even having, that's why communication is the number one issue
yeah,
because we're not even able to communicate properly
have
and
a
you're
conversation,
unhealed, but you're expecting him to pay your rent. You haven't
yeah,
even learned yourself yet, but you have
yeah.
an expectation.
I don't know how well, or if you guys listen to Umar. I don't listen to him like that, but he had a clip where he said this woman and this man both have trauma and they're coming together trying to build something, but neither one of them has faced their trauma. So how is that gonna work if one has trauma, the other one has trauma, and now we're just piling trauma on top of trauma? It makes no sense. Um, so yeah, it's
That's 90% of the world. Majority
yeah,
of generations have gone together with not being able to deal with their trauma. Hence why I am so passionate about doing the work.
hmm
It's okay to have trauma though. It's okay to
yeah,
have, you know, traumatic experiences. What you do to navigate that prior to getting into a relationship, we're not taught that. We're not taught to do this prior. We're taught to go to school. We're taught to go to college. We're taught to play football. We're taught to get a scholarship, but we're not taught the how to be in relationship. And I don't know about you, but that's my philosophy. You know, were you taught how to be in relationship?
no, it's so crazy, Jasmine, because I was just thinking a couple weeks ago how when I was growing up, I never seen a man kiss my mama, and I was raised in a single parent household, so I never seen a man kiss my mama. I never seen my granddad kiss my granddad. Hell, I never seen a man hug my mama, right? So you just got to think like that as me as a kid, not seeing that, right? And then I try to get in a relationship with somebody and I don't do that thing, right? But on the flip side of that coin, she's grew up with her mom and her dad and she
Mm-hmm.
see that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
her expectations of love is different from mine, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So for myself, just realizing that, and taking that head on and trying to come to grips with the fact that, you know, I'm not necessarily different. I just grew up different, right?
That's it.
Um, and like you said, it's work. Like it's hard work, right? And I learned how to love through movies. Believe it or not, Love and Basketball was my favorite movie. Well, is my favorite movie. Um, so I understand it. I understand
Yeah.
the fact that we as a culture don't deal with the trauma and the little things, like the little things of me not seeing that for my mom. You know what I'm saying? So how can I give that to somebody if I never seen it,
Yeah,
right?
me and you are very similar in the sense of like I wasn't hugged culturally, I wasn't hugged, and I took that into my marriage. My
Hmm.
spouse is her love language is physical touch. And
Hmm.
so from ages all the way up to 5, you were supposed to incorporate all levels of the 5 love languages for, growing up. Physical touch is one of the most powerful voices we have is physical
Hmm.
touch. But when you come from a household where you're not being, kissed, hugged, touched,
Hmm.
your hair caressed or just a pat on the back or anything small. I read today because that's something that I'm growing to ensure that I'm very affectionate to my godchildren. I will say that. Very affectionate. I don't know what it is about them that makes me very ambitious about being more affectionate, knowing that I didn't grow up that way. So where you start, Scott, is the small things. And that
Man.
still is the work because, even if it seems cliche, like, oh, I'm just going to do this one little thing. No, that one little thing will turn into a habit and then
Mm.
eventually change the dynamic of your whole entire being, because that is something we can absolutely overcome. We can overcome the fact that we didn't get it and we still can offer it in a different way and learn how to incorporate that in our energy and our being so that we can, give that out. And most
Yeah.
men have not experienced physical touch outside of a sexual act. Most men are not pat on the back, hey, good job. I mean, maybe in sports. So I'm
Yeah,
not,
that's it. But outside of sports, that's it.
it's none of that. So,
Yeah.
and then what makes you want to talk if you haven't even experienced any type of physical, anything? And that is it's very powerful for us to be able to get it outside of just the intimate parts of our life. And, it just breaks my heart that that's not something that is very accustomed in our culture. It's very genderized. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get it. And but people don't realize how much and how how at peace it can bring you just from the touches of somebody that loves you, right? Just the little touch of just caressing maybe the back of the neck, just
Yep.
I love you, little stuff like that, man, can go a long way.
Yeah. If a
Um,
child can recognize that when they are touched, so we're talking outside of diaper changing, outside of feedings. If a child can recognize that physical touch is an act of love, imagine what that does to an adult person, even an
mhm,
adult person that's never experienced it. Outside of, shaking of the hand, what's up, bro? What is wrong with greeting in a form of admiration or some sort of hug or anything like that? So it just is so deep in there, and it all goes back to our childhood. It all goes back to what we know and what we don't know. And I think the grace that is so beautiful about life is that you have to understand that your family's generation, that was something that they seen, so they didn't know any better. And that's when you
exactly,
come in
Right.
and say, hey, I understand. Like that's how it is for my parents.
exactly, yes,
I understand you didn't. My mom came from a children's home. She's a burn survivor. So she was never touched or never hugged.
Yeah.
And so the example is a child that has both parents and never had physical touch has the exact result as a person or a child, excuse me, that came from the foster system or children's home that never was touched. So you got a child with a 2-parent household and doesn't experience physical touch, and also a person that is in the children's home has not experienced physical touch, don't have the same outcome. Their traumas will be exact. Now, the child that is getting more than the diaper change, more than the feeding, hugs, consistent touches, hair caresses, or pat on the back, just as an example, that person is more likely to succeed further in life because of their emotional tank being filled.
No, I totally agree. That's why I make it an effort to tell my son and hug my son and tell him I love him, right? But because for the longest, like me as a emotional person, I sometimes used to hesitate to tell my homeboys, like, bro, I love you, because of the stigma, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, it's how I feel. Like I'm in tune, kind of in tune with my feelings now. So I have no issues with letting people know that I love them, because like, bro, you never know, man. You never know when the day is gonna be the day, right? And I really think it's important, Larry, and RJ. I don't know if you have kids, Coach, but and Zay, to tell your kids, man, you love them, give them a hug, kiss them on the forehead, man, because that is important. And just my childhood trauma, just thinking back, man, that the one time I remember my mama telling me she loved me was she gave me a hug before I got ready to go to college, and she told me she loved me, right? So just think, like the whole time, like she showed me she loved me through her actions, through everything that
Right.
she did for me and my sisters, 100%. But to hear, I love you, it's different than just the act itself, right? And I remember the first time I told my dad I love him, right? It felt good. Um, and I believe love is everything, man. And that's how the world's supposed to be, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
just
And
love,
that,
just
and,
love people.
and that's kind of how I grew up too. Like when I got older, when I got grown and stuff, like me and my dad, our relationship was like in and out. My mom did everything. My mom, I mean, we kind of grew up, that's why we
Hmm.
connect, Scott. We kind of grew up the
Hmm.
same way. And,
Hmm.
my mom, she might not say it, but her actions the same way
Hmm.
showed us that, how she loved us without a doubt. She might not say it verbally, but that's how I knew as a young kid that my mom loved me through her actions. She would do
Right.
anything in the world for me. And for my 2 older brothers, she'll do anything, but she held us to
Hmm.
accountable, right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? But my dad, he didn't start expressing, when we get on the phone until I got grown. You know what I'm saying? He said, I love you, son. And throughout my childhood, I didn't get that from like my dad, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because our relationship wasn't really there. You know what I mean? And but I got grown, and we started amending. We fixed on our relationship. And my dad
And
like my best friend right now. And
and that's, oh, go ahead, bro. My bad.
you know what I'm saying? That, like my mom, she always expressed and showed us. She always expressed and showed us that she loved us. Through her actions, through do simple things like that. But go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, no, just going back to what Jasmine said about they don't want to see us to winning, bro. Like, it's so crazy how the energy is shifting, right? Because our their dad probably was a slave, right? So just the whole energy shift of millennials being there for their kid, and I really think that's going to help the generation before us, because
Mm-hmm.
they're going to realize how important it is, right? So and I see the same stuff that you see, Jasmine, and I believe it's going in a good direction. I'm on social media a lot, and somebody had a video where they was like, we appreciate the millenniums for being there for their kid, like just being in the same house as their kid. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy that is we've gone so far and we're just getting here. That the dad is in the house with their kid. Like
Yeah, because they
that's
took us
wild.
out, or not us. I mean,
Right,
my man, but
right, right, right,
they
right, for
took the
sure.
male figure out, and then they started to, years down the line, they started to incorporate like Planned Parenthood into the schools. They
Hmm.
wanted us to be promiscuous. They wanted women to be the girls to be, more fluid. They started talking about sex more. Prior to that, nothing. Prior to Planned Parenthood, none of there was no. The statistic was low. So they did not they incarcerated us as Black people, but men, they
Hmm.
incarcerated men. They physically took the man out of the home, and that was their leverage to create us to be in this cycle.
Right,
So when you think about you and Larry's experience about, your fathers and how late, they may be having those feelings late in life, they just didn't really know any better. They
exactly,
weren't
Right, right,
trained.
exactly.
right,
They didn't see these
right.
things,
Yeah.
they were
Mhm.
trying to destroy us all the way back then. So if you don't, it's just kind of one of those things, like, it's like, wow, okay, let me give you grace because you just didn't know any better. Now, I'm not making an
Exactly.
excuse. I'm
Right.
just
Right, right, right.
holding grace where it's
Mhm.
given because it's important. I do have a question for you. Like, as you guys in your, growing up, there was a lack of affection, and one thing that Larry brought up, she may have showed love, but she didn't say it, which is another part of love languages, which is the words of affirmation. How do you guys believe that, intimate or not, but how do you guys believe that the lack of affection affected, as men, and how you show up in your relationships today?
I go first, bro.
Yeah.
I was still trying to think. Yeah.
For myself, again, I had to learn, and I got a good friend of mine. Shout out to Da, who he grew up with both of his parents, right? And I just grew up with my mom, and I met him in college, right? And we talk a lot. We talk a lot, and he taught me about the love language stuff. I knew nothing about love language stuff. So the one thing that I commend myself on is I'm very coachable, right?
Mm,
And very approachable. So when he would give me little nuggets, I would see it and try it, and oh, okay. So for myself, I don't think the I don't think the lack of words of affirmation in my childhood really played a part because of my ability to adapt and the fact that I want to, right? Like I never being that I grew up with two sisters and my mom, I never was disrespectful. I never cursed them, and I never put my hands on my sisters, right? And I never talked back to my mom. I got popped maybe once, right? So I knew what to do, right? I just didn't know how to get it done.
mm,
So the words are, and I had to learn that the words of affirmation is very important, and not just the physical touch.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so for myself, the lack of words of affirmation from my mom when I was younger didn't play a didn't have a negative impact on me as it could have, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah. I go. I guess growing up in only successful relationship I saw, in my life, I would say my mom, married or whatever, but I didn't. so many layers to this to me. Um, I think I'm just now learning to be that type of dude because I never saw a example of being romantic. Like my grandparents, they like I said, they just showed through actions. They did the simple things. The simple things. But just far as growing up being romantic, I learned through movies or I learned through my brother. Real. He's a very romantic person. Like we used to call him Cupid, but he had the juice because
Yeah,
my brother
suave.
Red, like he's so great in that area, and showing up and expressing himself and showing a woman, you know, high level appreciation. Me, I always struggle in that area because I just wanted to do the little simple things, to to I thought the simple things you do to just being a man, just making them happy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Spending time doing whatever she wanted to do instead of being creative on my own and thinking for her in a sense uh, to capture a moment, to surprise her, to do all those romantic type things. I never been great in that area or whatever. And I think I'm learning to get to that way. Instead of just okay, if Jasmine, for example, you say, "Well, Larry, I like that. You might have told me this 2 months ago. I might remember it 2 weeks ago. I'm like, dang, she
Paying
did say
attention.
she like, you know what I'm saying?
Paying
But
attention, bro. Yeah.
and I might do that because that's what you like. But for me, I'm a simple guy. I just like food and football and sports and stuff like that. You buy me a ticket to a sporting event, or you buy me something like that. To me, that's big. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like I love you forever. But but for other guys, it's you know, um, as a one to point, I used to love shoes and stuff like sneakers. As I got older, I got out of that stuff. So I was like, when I got older, I was like, man, I would love to, start going to more football games. And that's the lane that I want to be on. You know what I'm saying? I start going to more sporting. I don't give a damn about no shoe. Just give me a ticket to a game or do this. Buy me. Courtney started taking me to Hawks games and stuff like that. And so I used to be so ecstatic for that. And there was a lot of that was a big thing for me. That was more important than anything she ever could have bought me within shoes or clothes at that phase of my life now. And I think me now, I think it had my childhood. Those things did affect me because I didn't see the example of what a male man's supposed to show up and do things to make a woman happy. I seen bits and pieces through my grandmama, and I seen bits and pieces through sometimes my mom ex-husband did it or whatever. But I always seen my mom show up for other guys or other people. You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody needs something from my mama, she is always there. She's always showed up for them. But that's examples I seen growing up or whatever.
Yeah, I'll go. I didn't really see too many successful relationships where I grew up. I mean, like I said, my mom and dad were married, but they wound up getting divorced around when I was like one or two. So I've never actually seen them together. My grandmama, she that was a relationship that my grandma and my granddad, they wound up splitting up when I was younger. My dad has he has four different kids or four different baby mamas. So like, what I'm saying, he never really been in a consistent relationship, and I just, I never got a clear example. The one clear example I would say is though my preacher, he was in a marriage for over 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? They still married today. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably one thing that I see. But I never got a chance to see him at home. Only time I seen him was at church. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never at home seen an actual relationship, that was consistent. So, and I think that has affected me to this day. Something that, like you said, that's childhood drama that I need to face, I guess like head on, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's affecting me today. Like, cause I can get, I'm like, I feel like I'm in and out of relationships. Like I'll talk with a chick for a little bit, we'll date, you know what I'm saying? Probably a year, and then next, we're done. Cause I don't know how to, I just think my problem is I don't know how to keep a relationship going. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be consistent. You gotta come up with something new, you know what I'm saying, to spice things up. I think that's the problem that I have. I get too comfortable, with doing the same things over and over again, and that's you start losing that luster. And I think that's one thing, like I said, you gotta be real with yourself about, granted, some things wasn't my fault. Some things was, the women I was choosing, because I think a lot of the women I was choosing was just off of just me, I guess lust, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
and it wasn't actual girls that you should actually marry. You feel me, or something like that you should be dating. But I think that's my I guess that answers your question, Coach Jasmine. Did how would it affect you? If the affection would, I guess, help you in a relationship or whatever. And it definitely has affected me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Attraction will trip you up, boy. My question, this is what I want you to ask the next girl that you start talking to, RJ. I want you to ask, what's your soul hitting like? Because what's your soul hitting like, baby? Because looks don't mean nothing. And I will say, just because people have been together for a long duration of time doesn't mean they have depth. It doesn't mean that, we often like look at relationships, and when we see longevity, we think of success. That's not necessarily true. You need to look at the depth in who they are as a human being versus the longevity of their relationship. And looks can be deceiving. Looks does not always mean that they have substance, that they have something to offer, that their soul is intact. And the reason why I bring up the soul is because when we're intimate with people, soul ties are real.
Real, 100%.
They can't, we're not taught to break soul ties. We didn't bring with Keisha from around the way, and she still latched on to you spiritually. So that's what I mean with her soul hitting like, because you may not necessarily be the problem. It may just be that the people that you're choosing are not in alignment with RJ.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. Like, I need to like really like look into the inside of a person instead of the outside of looks. You know what I'm saying? And granted, you want your woman to have good looks, but you at the same time you gotta be able to please her inside. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Feed your mind, man.
yeah, up here. You know what I'm saying?
She got to
But
turn you on emotionally.
yeah. What? Well, go ahead, Zay. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, it's crazy
Oh, he's
how.
here. He's
Oh
here.
yeah, I was listening to y'all. I had and put my son to sleep, man. Boy, anyway, oh yeah, I'm here. But it's crazy how like yeah, we haven't seen like a successful relationship, man. You got to go way back in the days, man, where people together for like 30 or 40 years, man. Like nowadays, you just don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? They probably be together. Well, like I see you got a successful marriage, Jasmine. You got 16 years, right?
Yes.
And that's what I was saying. Like it's just crazy because I ain't seen no successful relationship growing up. My mom, my dad, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he around, but he ain't in the same household and stuff like that. But it's like kind of like my mom was always there. He's there, but he'll go off, a couple years maybe. I mean, that's when I was younger. He'll go off a couple years. I'm older now, so I was talking to him and stuff. We cool. We like sports and everything, but he wasn't like there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that right there just, you know, but yeah, man, it's just,
Zay,
yeah, it's
read the
just,
comment.
huh?
Read the comment.
That man smoking stupid, man.
Smoking crazy, man.
Smokey,
What up, bro?
Smokey. I was smoky later. Hold on, bro. Hold on, a minute. But yeah. But yeah, man. Like I was saying, man, it was crazy how we ain't seen That's why a lot of times that plays into our relationships too, man. Like how my dad was, he, had a lot of women and stuff like that, and I grew up thinking that too. I thought about a lot of stuff, man. I was kind of messed up, man, but like I said, me and my dad got a good relationship, but it's just different with him not being there. And yeah, like I said, I haven't seen a successful relationship. I just know my mom so strong and stuff, and independent, and dudes just ain't right for her, you know what I'm saying?
Same.
Right now she good now, man, and I think everybody need love. So right now she say she like the dude she got now. He cool, I just hope everything just work out, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's all I have to say. And Smokey, you trying me.
He hiding behind the comments. I know that.
Yeah, you yeah, man.
Jasmine, I want to ask you. We get to talking about Valentine's Day. Like, why is Valentine's Day so important to women?
I feel like it's something that society has made important. I personally don't really celebrate the holiday. And I'm probably one of those girls that just don't celebrate, but I just don't celebrate. I don't feel like Valentine's Day. I think it's just another tactic to get people to spend money. I think that it's all about the woman and not about the male. It's all about what can you get for this woman. And I'm not saying receiving gifts is bad. I just feel like it should not be pagan as one day. Like the reason why I believe that your relationship should be your biggest flex is the depth of the whole relationship. Not that you celebrate one day and you spend all this money. You should live this out throughout your year and out your years and throughout your relationship, not just one day. So I could be kind of like gripey because I'm not about to spend no money on one day and spend hundreds and hundreds. I'm not going to be her $400 going out to eat. Okay. Because in Cali, we don't spend that kind of money to eat. Cali, it's something about Atlanta.
True.
But again, I don't know if I brought this up to you, Larry, before, but I feel like it is very one-sided when it comes to the holiday itself. So when we talk about relationships being, fluid, right? It's not just a man's job to provide romantic things, or it's not just a male's job to please her. It is 50-50. It should be equal. It should be, you should date him just as much as he should date you, or vice versa. No, what if it's not the gender? You should date you should be treated equally. And I don't feel like that is a very equal holiday, in my opinion. What do y'all think? Because I could be wrong.
Nah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on it.
Yeah,
Scott's gonna spend all his money, it look like.
Yeah. Nah. Shit.
Nah, I don't. Nah, because I'm one to believe that outside of Valentine's Day there are other days, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a waste. It's the waste. It's a waste. I have to spend my money on my son and his Valentine's
Oh, he got a girlfriend at school. He got a girlfriend.
No, man, no, we still playing with Paw Patrol, man. Be a kid as long
Okay.
as you want to be, son.
Good, be a kid.
Nah, I don't. It's for me. Is if we want to, we can do it. If not, I'm okay with that too. Like it's not something that I'm going to, like you said, go spend a lot of money on, because the same flowers I can get tomorrow.
Exactly. I told my wife, I
I
said,
mean,
let's pull that money
Wednesday.
into an
I
investment.
meant Thursday. Right.
That's
Yeah.
they say Thursday is the side piece. Is that true?
What the hell?
What's the side piece?
If you celebrate it today or the 15th, they say you the side piece. Oh Jesus, this world is messed up. This world
is crazy.
What Well, to me, man, I mean, I don't really. I mean, my old lady, she like it. I mean, I don't really. You know, we a lot of the men don't really care about too much like that. I mean, it's just another day to me. You know, with hearts everywhere. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
like I said, if she like it, I get with her or whatever. But I with Scott on that, man. I mean, I ain't really too much. Like I really don't care about it. But like I said, if
But
she like good, good.
yeah, I can speak like I don't know, like when me and Courtney first got together, I hated Valentine. I used to hate it so much, and I grow to I like it because she like it. It's what she like. She likes sports now because I like sports, and she's going to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Be more passionate. Not more passionate, but she's starting to love it like me. Now.
She
So
do. She do because she was schooling me on the Niners and the Lions game. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
girl, what's going on? Help me. I took her out for her birthday and she was just like, she didn't pay me no attention because she was too busy watching the dang game.
yeah, yeah.
You
She
and
love
you coached her up,
man.
Larry.
Yeah, yeah, man. Been a long time coming, man. A lot of football games, a lot of going to the bars and sitting at the house. We watch you ask a lot of questions. So she's up to speed now. She know what's going on and stuff like that. But nah, I used to like hate it when we first dated because I know one time she was like, she kind of mentioned when we just friends, just kicking it, and she was like, "What you doing for Valentine's?" I said, "I'm going to work," and I had the day off. I could have, but I hated it so much. I guess growing like you said, growing when I was a kid, I just all this like all this one day is just so bigger than every other day to women. Like I guess one time one girl got mad at me because I ain't want to like do shit. I just want to sit at home. I play my game. Like like you ain't get me nothing for Valentine's and oh this girl like you ain't tell me happy Valentine's. I'm like, man, F this, man. I don't even I was just so over it, like just so over it. Like, man, I just spent the day with you February 13th.
She thinks she the side P, coach.
Yeah, but see, from a woman point of view, it's like if you spend Valentine's with them that day, it's just so
You
high
is.
Right.
regard. It's so special. To me, it's just a regular day.
You heard
Like,
what Future said. Valentine's is the worst day, man.
Oh
yes,
You
yeah,
got
yes,
three, you got
yes.
3, 4, 5. You got Valentine's is the worst day.
Who's that?
It
yeah.
Who's
is.
that?
Oh, that's
Future.
Future. Yeah,
I'm just
Future said
That's
that.
Future.
But I don't know, man. And then I used to like you just like get to the point, just like I just never put no like big time effort into it because I didn't care about it no more. I just didn't I guess my old way just didn't force me to be creative and care about it. I'm like, man, I'm buy you flowers, this and that other and this and that's it. And go out there. It's just the regular norm. But I haven't to do with a lot of things that a lot of guys on social media doing. They doing some, good romantic creative stuff. That's cool. That's cool. But hey, I'm growing to learn because she likes
Yeah, and you can't compare your like what you do to the next person.
it.
I
Right.
think for me, I had an ex-girlfriend that's birthday was Valentine's Day. And so
Oh,
I've been trauma bond ever since, honey. I'm just like, I mean, she was 17 years ago, but still, her birthday was Valentine's Day. And ever since then, I just really did not really care for the holiday. I thought it was just like, a way to spend money.
right.
And so to your point, Larry, even as like my wife isn't very girly, but I can tell that she likes, it's always been about me. So I
Right.
feel like now that we're older, it's more so, she wants to, can I plan? So she asked me, can I plan something? And I was like, I was flying, 'cause I'm a flight attendant by trade. So I was in the air and I was like, I'll let her do something. Cause I typically am just like, I'd rather work or
Yeah.
I just don't really have no interest in the holiday. Where can we invest our money? I'm looking for the next investment. I'm not really worried about spending money. So I chose the chiropractor. And so I feel like that's a fantastic date for me. I'm a flight attendant. My back hurts. You know, I'm going to get my back cracked. But and then literally.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
What, man? I just say,
You just couldn't let it
like
go,
Usher,
could
ain't it?
you just couldn't let that one slide, bro.
Oh, bro.
But I think a lot of times, for Valentine's Day or for holidays or for birthdays, we get so like caught up in comparing what others are doing and not being grateful for what our household is doing or our significant other. We got to stop looking at what others are doing. And everybody's finances are different, and that's okay. So you're comparing your, what you get or don't get to some celebrity, but that's not our life. So I think there's a lot of gratitude should be given on that day. If anything else, is just being grateful for your spouse, grateful for love, grateful for your children, grateful for your family more so. Because Valentine's Day, if I was to look at it a little different or just coach myself, which is the hardest thing to do, is that it should be looked at as a love day for every relationship, not just the one that you lay down with every day. It should be more so for every relationship, your family, your cousins, everybody, to change the dynamic. Maybe we should make it a family reunion.
Right. But
Love.
Jasmine, let me ask you
Yeah,
this
love.
though.
Yeah,
Like a
love.
lot of times, like growing up as is in the culture, like I guess from men point of view, like women think they vagina is a gift. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna give you this gift. This my return for giving me doing all this.
That's like I was saying, social construct. Like
Yeah,
intimacy is not a gift.
I agree.
Intimacy is a gift that God has given us to be able to do with each other, but it should not be about that. Like I was saying, it should be about gratitude. It should be about, you guys deserve gifts. You don't think so? Or
I
is that
agree.
weird? Is that a weird thing to get a gift from your?
No, shit,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I want my
I'm like,
feet
y'all
rubbed and
Yeah,
quiet.
what?
everything.
Hold on, what
I
gift?
want
What?
my
Hold
feet.
on. Yeah.
I want
Oh,
my
that.
feet
Yeah.
rubbed,
Hell yeah.
my head rubbed,
It,
my
Yeah.
back
I
rubbed.
definitely want my feet
Yeah.
rubbed, but for
but
sure my
but do
ankles.
y'all
I
get
ain't
that
gonna.
though?
Yeah.
Is it if the holiday can let's boycott the holiday and reverse it.
That's
Let's
what I'm
reverse
saying, bro.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit, man. I love gifts. That's
You
cool.
love gifts, so your love language is receiving gifts day.
Oh, hey, but like
I
Larry
hope your
said, man.
girls, your old lady is watching.
Oh yeah, now she probably done listening though. Eavesdropping.
They be eavesdropping. They gonna eavesdrop. And then,
Eavesdropping.
and then they gonna like act like they ain't here, and they gonna bring it up and throw a little
Yeah.
side note, little curveball in there.
And I think they should be proud because you guys are definitely have a brotherhood, which I respect. I really think it is important for men to have conversations with one another and being able to voice a lot of things that we've talked about today. They should be very proud that you guys are open minded to talk about things and, just try to understand a different way or dynamic because this is dope. What you guys have here is very very inspiring, and I hope a lot of other men get tap into this and be able to converse with you all. And I'm proud of you, Larry. Mm,
Yeah.
Oh man,
Hey,
appreciate
mm.
it.
hey, and it felt good to express myself, man. It
Yeah, it
felt
was.
That's
It was a
good,
healthy
bro.
dynamic,
feel
man.
good,
I,
man.
Yeah.
I be working on Larry in the group chat, man. I'm working on him,
Nah,
my
nah,
cousin,
nah,
man.
nah. For real, like, Jasmine, real talk, like, credit to like, these guys, like, a lot of the guys in my life, they have molded me and shaped me, and a lot of my friends and stuff, they have molded me, over the years and stuff like that. Everybody I have in my life, I get a piece of their mindset and they pour into me to make me a better man in all areas of my life. And I don't think I'd be a married man today if it weren't for the guys these guys right here, and the guys that my brother, my homeboy Mike, that he's doing a whole different thing. He doing great things. Scott, and man, it's a few guys that um I don't I don't know where I'd be. I know, you know what I'm saying, I've been going down the wrong path in life. It was never for my, you know, my brothers and these guys, my best friend. So, you know, I always, you know, get them flowers and talk, you know, the beautiful thing about it though, Jasmine, you know, we talk every day. We talk about ball sports or whatever the case may be. And you know, sometimes we go months without talking or weeks without talking, you know, just or whatever. And we just pick up like it never left, you know what I'm saying? So uh, I appreciate them too with everything, you know.
Oh, that was sweet, bro. I appreciate
So
Yeah,
that.
happy
yeah, yeah,
Valentine's
yeah,
Day, guys.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah,
Flowers.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
oh, so
glad
I got
to.
another clip I want to play before we, you know, kind of get you all here too. This is another thing been going viral. And let me see. Uh, and they been on her head though. So it was on Poor Minds podcast. Hold on. There's a long list of cars I would buy.
Don't date.
Hold on.
So if you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date. Again, I'm with you. You're not ready to. You're not ready to date because courtship costs. Okay. Everything costs. Okay. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, Shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make 50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have the expectation, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're gonna want to run. Because she doesn't stretch you, she doesn't make you the man that you need to become. She allows you to be the stagnant dude in the same jeans for days. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about saying. So if you're making $50,000, don't date. Ooh. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date. Again, I'm with you.
That's crazy. That's
Mhm.
and that was all the, you know what I'm saying, they did some homework on the, you know, Twitter. They got does did homework on, turned out she was doing selling nude pictures, OnlyFans type stuff. So they bowed her head. And those are the mentality of the women that was at Super Bowl weekend and in that industry life or whatever, or the upper echelon type of guys, women. And it is hard out here, man, for like men. That's why a lot of men have adjusted to, like, you know, the younger guys. Talk to my nephew. They ain't trying to take no relationship serious. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to be married.
Well, get your old cougar, man. Cougar
Yeah,
tamer.
yeah.
Get your old cougar now. You know.
And Scott, and that's why I'm telling Courtney, and you see that now, like the young college and NBA players and professional athletes, they ain't trying to date these little young girls no more. They date old women now, older women now, more seasoned women.
You
You know,
seen Jalen Green? She dating what Drea, who
yeah,
almost
Drea.
50.
Now she's
Like
39 and he's 21. He got her
yeah,
pregnant.
my bad. I didn't mean to say 50, but almost 40.
Yeah, you
Like
did. You did.
but I
my
know
bad. I added 10
that's
years.
that been a big topic, you know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of dudes kind of mad, and a lot of women kind of feel some type of ways. Like I know a lot of these college, you know, high school college dudes, they're not like Travis Hunter. He just got engaged. The dude plays for Dion, and he about to be 19, 20. He about to be 20. His girl probably 24 now. You know, his fiance just got engaged to. She probably 24. They ain't. I mean, it's a, you know, they ain't too bad, but he's not dating nobody in his, you know, his age bracket. And that's it.
You got to be about 10 plus, boy.
Yeah.
So, Coach Jasmine, I got a question. So, how much is money? It should be like a big like
Staple.
deciding factor on what, yeah, staple on, you know, in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, what how do you feel on that topic when it comes to money?
So the second most common relational issue is finances. And when I talk about finances, it's not about how much money a person has. It's just a conversation around finances.
Mm-hmm.
So what the lady said, I must have been that bitch because I definitely was not in getting into my marriage, into my relationship because of money. But that was a different time. So now, I think in a marriage, the conversation should be had. I think finances are something that generationally we're not taught to sustain. We're not taught to build generational wealth. We're not taught equity in a house. We're not taught to buy property. We're not taught to make an investment in the stock market. I mean, I remember when somebody told me to start investing in my 401k, and it was just like in one ear and out the other. Like, what? No, I need my money now. So when you get into a relationship, a lot of the finances, the financial nature that I know now is because of my wife. My wife is a real estate agent, and she learned finances through helping her clients and getting their credit score up to par to be able to purchase the property. Finances was an issue that we had in our marriage. We did not have conversation about finances earlier in our marriage. That was late in our marriage, and it caused friction for us, and we had to learn what the language was around that and what we wanted. So I think it's important. So to your question specifically, I don't think money is a determining factor, in my opinion. Most women want to out. They want, okay, he has all the money, but what else can he offer? If he has all of this money and he makes more than $50,000, then what? We have to go back to being relationally intelligent. If you're relationally intelligent, y'all can grow together and gain equity together, relationship equity. Why can't it be that you are growing together? And a man, I don't feel like it's like that talk to me sounds like you are judging a person's character by the nature of their money. Now, granted, most of us don't know how, what being financially free sounds like or looks like, or what credit scores look like. Those are things you can learn. That's not something so far fetched. You can learn those things. So again, going back to the number one issue, which is communication, you have to communicate to even get to being able to navigate what finances could be. But to just count somebody out, but what if they're spiritually sound? What if their relationship with God is so fire that they're able to go into their war room and pray for you like nobody's business, but you're worried about their money? Let people grow. We're all more stronger in other areas. Mine's relationships. Your guys' is different from mine. But it doesn't mean that just because I'm not the financial guru doesn't make me any less qualified to be in a relationship.
Yeah, some people just aren't spiritually sound, right? So when they don't know any better,
Mm-hmm.
they always revert back to what they know.
And if they didn't come from money, which most of our culture has not come from money, when we go back to trauma, we think about, people not having food to eat, people being, in a household where there was one parent and we were on food stamps, or, whatever the factor is from a financial standpoint, that can be traumatic for some people. And unfortunately, what happens is they lead with finances as their resolve. They're always going to be searching for somebody with money or somebody that can provide because they weren't provided for. So it goes right back to your childhood traumas and what you lacked, what you had, what you didn't have. And that could be part of the reason why these people are making this decision to only seek out somebody with finances. But I mean, people with money are killing people. People with money are has substance abuse. People with money are not the most happiest. So is money, the love of money is the root of all evil. So I kind of tread lightly with that.
So
It's just, like you said, RJ, and one thing I really respect about what you said is really something that I've always taught, and a lot of people don't get it, but it's not about what they do versus what I do. It's about what we do in my marriage, what I do in my relationship to sustain and to become relationally intelligent over and over and over again. So that is really what it means. It's just what it is. What is it for Scott? Scott and I, we may have a difference of opinion in how we operate, but it doesn't make one over the other. It's just, what does relationship intelligence means in that household for us to be, for them to be equity, have grow with equity and vice versa. And Larry and Courtney, it's the same thing. Zay and his old lady, you know.
So I got a question too. That I like I said I don't know how big you said you're not big into rap, but I will say in social media there's a lot of men versus women like agenda that is very very huge.
Oh yeah.
Another thing, like I just don't some of the female like quote unquote role models that they have, like quote unquote sexy red, you feel me? That they got out here, man, and this I feel like it's influencing some women to you know what I'm saying, to feed into that, to try to become this that they're seeing on TV. And I just do you feel like that has a lot of influence on
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's a direct influence. And Larry knows I am very much not big in celebrity anything. I'm not very big on, I feel, no shade to them. It could be how I was raised. I wasn't really brought up in it. But I feel like there is an agenda, and we have to be very mindful of what we watch, what we listen to, and what we insert into our spirit. So what happens is, if you take the Krishan Rock and Blueface situation, the world is really emphasizing toxic relationships. They want us to see toxic relationships. They want it. And people are so, I don't want to use the word woke, but in the sense of being woke, people are so sleep when it comes to what they're watching, what they're listening to. And what happens is so say Zay and his old lady are having a conversation at home about Krishan Rock and Blueface. And all of a sudden she starts feeling away because she brings up a topic and they start arguing about it. That is influence, right? That's energy transfer. You have to be so careful about what is put in your, because everything's right in our face. Whether you want to believe there's an agenda or not, it is an agenda. It is an agenda. So our phones they listen to us, they know exactly what we're talking about. You're going to see things on your page today based on us having these conversations. It's
About
everything is tied to
relationship.
one another. So I won't speak names as far as like how I feel personally about people. I just feel like people have a responsibility if they are in the limelight, especially our people. It's like, shame on you for being so eager for greed that you rather get your money, which I'm not shading anybody that wants to get money. I get it. But when it's the detriment to society, to the younger generation and the generations after us, that's when you kind of have to just take a step back and look like, maybe this agenda, I need to do my own research. I need to really look into this. Because what they're saying, what they're rapping, regardless if I know all the words, I know what the message is.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I said, I just don't like some of the stuff they're promoting on social media. And I know they're doing it for the clicks, and I know they're doing it for the views. And it may not, it may their intent may be it may not even just be to destroy the black community, but it is. You get what I'm saying? But they just trying to do it for money and clicks, And like it's just all it's so unintelligent. It's like it makes us look bad as people. Like the other day, I was watching the video with Sukiyana or whatever that one little female rapper. I don't know how to say her name. But she didn't even know she was a musician. Like I was like, how do you not? She was like, I'm not a musician. Doesn't even make it say what is a musician? Like I'm like, that's somebody that yeah, I was like somebody that make music, literally. That's definitely a musician. Like
She know that shit means. She thought Sean
yeah,
calling her like it saw her really. She felt real offended. You a musician? I mean, she said, "I'm a." What she said? What she kept saying? I'm a. So she could have said some dumb stuff, but it was dumb. Like she like she know what it mean. I guess she didn't know what it mean for real.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
these are that's unintelligence. You feel me? That's just being straight ignorant. Like
like, real talk. What she
you don't
kept
even know
saying?
what you
She a
are.
music. What she kept saying? She an artist or something? What she say? She
I
kept
can.
saying,
I just. I mean, I ain't lie. I cut it off after she said that she didn't know what a musician was. I said, "Oh yeah,
yeah, but she
trying to
kept.
cut this off." Like, I
Like,
don't
you
need no
can't
more
take her
stupidity
serious,
for the
bro.
day. I can't take her seriously. It's same way with sexy red. I mean, granted, she may make music that women like, You know what I'm saying? But
Not
I
all.
can't take I can't take her seriously, bro. Like I just don't like how she move. I don't like how she talk. It's just not. It ain't cute to me. Like it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just my opinion.
I don't look at none of that trash.
So it's just forced upon the black community. It's forced on us. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
kids are singing their songs in school. Like the kids, the babies are singing their songs in school.
mhm.
This is a scary world we live in.
Yeah, our
And
kids, man, they gonna be.
And you know,
The next generation is ridiculous. Like,
RJ, it's crazy like how we grew up. Like
mhm.
we grew up all like we had trap dudes and stuff like that, but that didn't make us want to go sell dope. Some
Yeah,
people did,
I
some people did, but with the ratio what going on now compared to how we grew up, like we would listen to Master P and Snoop Dogg and
mhm.
what I'm saying, NWA. That didn't really influence us. It influenced us positively. Like we want to do something about political issues and stuff that's in our community, or take that as motivation to like we using that in sports and stuff like that, or we want to be an aspiring rapper or with business or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
It's on a whole different playing field now. Like they really taking that, being brainwashed by the music compared to
Yeah,
our
it's.
generation.
I'll say this too. Like when I was growing up, I mean, it was just. I mean, like I said, I think Larry, you older than me, but there was R&B change too. It wasn't even
Yeah.
just rap. Like R&B went from Usher, you know what I'm saying, to Pretty Ricky. Like you know what I'm saying, like pretty. You
I
know what I'm
do know who
saying,
that
like.
is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like like everything started to switch to sexually. Like it went from R&B used to be about love, man. That's all they used to sing about was love and relationships. And I mean, even they was talking about some toxic relationships, but then it went from that to Pretty Ricky talking about some grind on me and having phone sex, and you know what I'm saying? That's where it went to.
They used to be there, bro. That's crazy.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And from then on, you got Trey Songz that popped out. You feel me? Like it was a shift in R&B as
Ooh, he's
well.
a whiner. He's a whiner.
Yeah.
And I just look
Sorry
at
if
it
that's
like
y'all cousin.
nah. But I say this though, like you can see that and then like now I think like the younger kids they listening to songs where they talking about taking Xans and doing popping perkies and doing all type of crazy drugs. Like they trying to get these little kids on drugs, man. They trying to do it
Nope.
bad. Like and you have people like Juice World who passed away on that plane because he took a whole bunch of drugs because he got scared. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted
I
to he
deal with
passed.
that a lot on the plane. You know, it's more prevalent than people think. That it happens more often than you think, and it is scary when you have to deal with it medically, like when you kind of have to
Mm.
address when when those drugs overcome the person. So it's everywhere, and it's like you take 10 people, there's obviously probably one person that is on something substance related to cope or to deal. Like you said it earlier, you just really don't know what people are dealing with, and people are dealing with some heavy stuff, and most of the time they don't really know who to talk to, feel comfortable with talking about it and being able to articulate what they're going through. And then we have the white noise that is just all over, trying to get us to sway one way. It could be the beat in the undertone of the song you have to be careful with. It's so many elements to it that you really have to stay prayed up and ask God to cover you, because when you got people like Sexy Red being blasted all over the internet having a baby, and she's in the hospital, and that's what living the trap life is, or whatever life she portrays. Because I mean, I lived a similar life for a certain point in time, and I don't operate that way. So there's no judgment. It's just when you have a duty as a woman to make sure the next generation is learning a certain way, you know, I just feel like we're lost in translation.
Right.
And that's what I got to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know you said you don't want to talk about music, but you know, I just trying to see the differences of what the music, what the influence that music has on the
And
Black
that's part of the
culture.
reason why I don't, because my mother, which I'm grateful that she didn't allow me to listen to secular music, because now when I listen to it, my spirit is immediately, I'm an empath, so I feel it immediately. If it's something that, I'm not saying all music that's not gospel is bad. What I am saying is my spirit is a little bit more sensitive to it, and I can feel it immediately. I just don't, when people ask questions about music, these names I'm familiar with because I study relationships, but I'm grateful that she did set that tone. Like, you know, you can't listen to this growing up, because I don't feel like I missed out on anything, really. But now when I listen to some of the stuff, it's like I don't listen to that mess because it's mess to me. It is not a benefit to my spirit and my well-being of my life. So I have to be careful what I listen to.
Yeah.
Don't be don't be saying too many names now, because you know I don't know all the names. Larry, no.
No, it's just I just look at it like this, like Larry was basically saying, like I never sold drugs a day in my life. I've never done it, but I listen to nothing but trap music, you know what I'm saying, from all the rappers, you know what I'm saying, from that era. I mean, that's because
I
mean at
never
that time,
listened to trap music.
yeah, see, look, yeah, you blessed. You know what I'm saying? You blessed. You ain't
But
had
my
to do it.
life for a point in time was very interesting.
Mhm.
So, you know, I didn't have influence from music, but I still had influence from the street.
Right. Yeah.
I'm proud, RJ, that you didn't sell drugs.
Oh yeah. I never
You
did.
guys in that glad, man.
Everybody in my family did though.
Shot,
That's
bro.
what the crazy about it. Like I had plenty of cousins that sold
Wait, y'all
dope.
taking a shot?
See a shot, take a shot.
Okay,
Shot
Corey,
o'clock.
come on now. Why didn't you text CJ to bring me something?
Shot o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, yeah, my
Shot.
oh yeah, y'all turn. He got a double shot.
Hey man, I need some chaser.
You soft.
Scott is
You soft.
He's Drake.
What y'all drink? Tequila?
Mm-hmm.
Larry, you drink, bro.
What you sipping on, Scott? You been sipping the whole time, or is that water?
Water.
Yeah. I'm fucking Drake, boy.
I appreciate y'all. I really enjoyed myself on your guys' platform. Larry, I am so proud of you. I am extremely proud of you. I met you almost 5 years ago?
Man, longer than that.
Longer than that. Okay. Like
19.
No,
okay.
19.
When I met her when y'all working in Nordstrom.
18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No,
it's been a minute, but I remember the man I met. I know that for a fact. I remember the man I met then, and to see you and what you've built and, you know, what you're building, I am extremely proud of you. Because one thing I will say is I'm a firm believer of doing the work. And I know I could be annoying to you sometimes because I stay on that with you. But I can see that some of the things that I have said in the past and some of the things that I have prayed over, you have implemented. And that makes me very happy and very proud.
Yeah, I appreciate you. But we gotta do this again, man. It was nice for you to come kick it with the guys, and you fit right in or whatever. We ain't gonna be on here too long. We're gonna talk about football, Super Bowl, and stuff.
Oh, boy, I'm finna get out of here, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about no football.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had 2 hours, bro.
Yeah. We
can
can
close it mud down.
Yeah. Okay. We can end it. But it was great at Jasmine. It was very healthy, man. It was a lot of pressure, stress relief, man, to be able to voice our opinion. My boy Scott, we had a conversation like about stuff like this all the time, man. To be able to be doing it on the platform, it was very healthy. Yeah, so it was very much needed. We got.
Yeah, I sent my invoice. I sent my invoice
I
in
got
one.
you. I got you.
Nah, it was a pleasure, Jasmine, to meet you.
So
So
nice
thank
to
you
meet y'all too.
for joining us.
Jasmine, tell them people where they can follow you and your brand, and they can
So
follow.
you can follow me on Instagram. Everything's the same. It's at Live Love Tank, LiveLoveTank. I have a free masterclass coming up on February 29th. I don't know when this is going to air, but February 29th. It is on my Instagram. It's free to sign up. We talk about 3 elements of the Love Tank method. And for those who don't know, I teach relationship intelligence. That's what I teach. I teach couples, I teach singles, I teach your mama, everybody, how to become relationally intelligent. But I love all things relationships. I just want people to thrive ultimately. But that's where you can find me at Live Love Tank. Sign up for the free masterclass so you can learn how to be better in your relationships.
Yeah, I sent you a follow.
Okay, I follow back, but I'm on my phone, so I'm
No,
scared
no,
to.
Yeah,
I'm scared to swipe
we
up.
cool people.
It was so nice to meet you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Appreciate it, man.
Tell your old lady I said what to do.
Oh yeah, oh
That was
yeah.
my usher.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate it again, man. Like and subscribe, man. And I'm gonna send you this, Jasmine, so you can do your fine tuning, editing, and shortcut and everything. So, but yeah, man, like and subscribe to the channel. We growing or whatever. It's all season talk, so we're gonna be doing a lot more of this and stuff like that. And yeah, cause we got 7 months to kick off, and then we got NBA All Star weekend coming up. We're gonna talk about that next show. And then the playoffs coming, basketball, major league coming up. So, yeah, man,
Baseball, baby.
yeah. You used to throw that thing, Scott. Boy, you used to throw that heat up.
Yeah, I'm back there calling balls and strike now, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I appreciate you, Jasmine, again, man. Appreciate y'all. See you later.
All right, dog.
All right.
Mhm.